Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Hello and welcome to the Enterprise. This is where we come up close and personal to people who make the news, so we can interrogate their personal lives and draw inspiration from their career, their relationships, and maybe some inspiration from what they've been through in life. Today, I have a very, very inspirational lawyer, advocate. You'll meet him in a minute. But before we do, please stay with us to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still on the Enterprise, and today we're discussing Liborus Oshoma and his very controversial life. So at the Enterprise, we like to delve into the crux of your trade, what makes you who you are. And that's why we start from the family. And I love how you told us how romantic you are and the poet and all of that. And
I used to write poems for my wife every day.
And I asked the question that she's not the jealous kind. She said she knows that that's his trait. But before she met you, were you the lover boy
Before I
in
entered,
Ekpoma?
Before I entered the university, I suffered a heartbreak. So in the university,
One girl look you like this, break your heart?
yes, so I fell slavishly and sheepishly in love.
You are really the romantic.
And so I had a heartbreak. So throughout the university, I had no heart.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, throughout my university days, I had no heart. And I just had them as they came, So, but at the same time, just like that. So, but when I was leaving the university, I just told myself, I said, you know what? I need that one thing, that feeling I had.
How many did you have at that time?
The university. There was a time I had 7.
My goodness.
Yeah.
How are you managing 7 women at the same time?
Because when you don't have a heart, you really don't care. I had a friend, Sammy. Sammy is somebody who is dating a girl. He says if he's tired, he will just tell the girl, I'm tired, I'm no more interested.
My goodness.
And then I asked him why. He said, after all, she left somebody for you. She broke somebody's heart, so it won't be a big deal if you...
You're lucky you don't have a daughter for someone to break her
heart. Even if I
so.
have a daughter, I will tell her my experience. If I had a daughter, I'll tell her my experience.
Okay, so tell us, we would love to learn from that experience in a few minutes. So what should a young girl who is dating a young Liborus do?
No, see, look, let me tell you, when at that point there were no commitments, so you see...
Don't commit to somebody who doesn't commit to you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't commit to somebody who doesn't commit to you. So I told somebody yesterday, I said, look, there is nobody that does not have time.
Except they don't have emotions for you.
Except they don't have emotions for you. So they just tell you, I don't have time.
Okay.
And you say, I'm very busy.
But
if they have emotions and feeling for you,
they will create
always
time.
create that time.
True.
So at that
I
point, if
agree.
you come to my house, you meet, when we're in school, you come, you meet another girl. I just, Jumoke meet Jumoke. And
everybody will just arrange themselves.
So but with that, after, university, you now realize that, oh, look, all of this had to pass.
Okay, so Liborus, you have...
So that's why I tell my sons, I won't live my life and live yours. But this is it. You need to learn to also treat the opposite sex. You can't be a king without having a queen. So you need to learn to treat people. There was a day I was driving in and I saw my son and his friend, a girl. And the girl was in front, he was behind. I stopped and I said, look, that guy, I call them guys. The guy, that's not how to work with a lady. Work side by side. Are you ashamed of her or she's ashamed of you? He said, no, and I said,
He didn't. Maybe he didn't want you to see that he was working with a lady.
But he knows now.
Out of respect for daddy.
No, he knows that.
Daddy not my guy.
Like my uncle, growing up in Warri, he would tell you, who is that your female friend? Bring her in. Sit in the
so what's your
room.
relationship with your sons?
Oh, they're my guys. They're my guys who can. Even though they are closer to their mom, women
and their sons,
yes.
yeah.
But we are friends.
Okay.
So they tell me anything. So
I'd really love to delve more into your family life, but again, I'd love to respect your privacy. But while speaking, you mentioned how you no longer go to church. Yeah. And I have said that a lot of us, maybe post 2020, are becoming enlightened. Our eyes are opening that there are more pastorpreneurs than there are men of God who are truly called by God. And you have spoken about how you realize that we are no longer sincere. And you mentioned that if every Nigerian adopts 3 poor people, there'd be no poverty in Nigeria. At what point did you come to the realization that, no, religion isn't working for me?
Look, let me tell you, growing up, I wasn't deprived, but we weren't rich. So you could say we're that, I would call myself the son of a headmaster, HM. And so we're what you would call dolly parting, although we had no money, but we were happy.
Okay.
We could eat every kind of food that other people could eat. So, and then I understood what it meant to live a communal life where everybody shares. And I've always had that belief that if we all share, it will go around. So there's no need one person holding on to everything. This Yanlabe mentality where one man will have and then, you give little, you grab what belongs to everybody. So, but when I see the way we treat ourselves, we are so religious, but yes, we are less godly. And I understood. I went back in time to try to understand, and then also coupled with the fact that as a lawyer, law gives you opportunity. If you really want to learn, it gives you opportunity to have a broad view about things. You read, and it also helps you as it's a vehicle that you can use to re-engineer the mind. And so with that kind of liberation, I question everything. It helps me to question everything.
So are you questioning God or you're questioning religion?
No. Questioning everything is philosophical, because law also, it takes you into the world of philosophy, psychology, understanding the mind. And so you now begin to question people's behavior. And when you now have opportunity to travel, you see people that brought religion to you, how they are living. They told you yours is not good. And yet, they are struggling to take yours and give you theirs. And then you see how they develop their society and how they learn to share. You hear that Bill Gates gave to charity. The richest man gave to charity. These people gave to, and then they are happy to give to charity. And when they want to give, they say give to poor people in Africa. And yet, in these poor people, among these poor people, you have so many rich people who are still taking and taking. And then we look at government. You look at the government, you're like, oh, why is government so wicked? And then you now begin to understand that it is not just the government, but everybody. We all encourage that behavior. And then the people who are representative of God on earth, who are supposed to caution the government, you find out that they are not different. And then there's a nexus. In those other societies, they pay taxes. So the tax works for them. And then they hold government accountable when the tax does not work. But here, because government takes what ordinarily belongs to all of us, they don't bother you when you don't pay tax.
True.
So the pastors tell you, bring your tax in form of tithes. And those things that government is supposed to give you, those things that the tax is supposed to do for you, God will do it. So that's why now you want to travel from Lagos to Benin.
You call God for security.
You call God for security. You call God for, you use the blood of Jesus to cover the road, cover the steering, cover the wheel, soak the car. So, and then you completely leave out the government. So the people that are supposed to be telling you no, but it's convenient for them because they tell you bring. If your things are tight for you, check your tithes. They don't tell you if things are tight for you, check your government because they refuse to provide enabling environment for business to thrive or create job opportunity. They say it's because the little you have, you are not bringing it to the house of God. And so I also now begin to read the Bible. Like I said, love broadens your mind. You see that. I'm a student of Bible knowledge, not Christian religion knowledge.
Jesus himself was not a Christian.
So I now discover that most of these things that these people preach are all, for personal gain. And so coupled with the fact that with social media, it helps you to learn more.
Oh, yeah.
So that just completely, see, if I begin to call names of some of these big pastors. I don't believe in any of them. All these big names. When they talk, I'm like, man, this guy, Elisha.
So in agreeing with you, I also saw a pastor on TV who, during the elections, didn't say anything at all to his congregation. And right after, he started complaining that he was now spending 40,000 to fill his tank, and they were spending 300,000 per week to buy diesel into the church generator. And I'm like, well, this is direct deduction or
impact
of government or lack thereof. Why do you keep quiet about helping your people? Because they trust you, they believe in you. They're helping them to do the right thing as positive citizens. Not choosing any candidate, but at least even encourage them that, okay, elections next week, go out. So you don't talk about politics.
Maybe the pastor was like me because all the candidates basically
were the same thing. But then you come and complain.
No. You see, maybe you are taking me to an area I probably didn't want to go into.
Please go there.
You see, Nigeria, the structure of governance of Nigeria, that's why I said it is what if we all can adopt 3 persons and give those less privileged, you'll find out that the problem, that what we look up problem will not be there. The structure of governance is a behemoth. There's too much power concentrated at the center. So you need to unbundle. And when you unbundle and make those smaller units effective, government is closer to the people.
To the people, I agree.
And so when you do that, but they will tell you, no, the pastors don't want to go into politics. But at the end of the day, indirectly, they are going into politics, collecting money from politics and politicians and all of those things.
Okay.
So, but that said, that's why I love law. Law makes me a bishop. In some places, I describe myself as a bishop. It helps me to liberate people. Yesterday, somebody came to my office. A young girl, just graduated after NYC, wanted to, further her education.
Okay.
No, paid some amount of money to one agency that were saying they were taking some persons to, one country. But at the end of the day, it didn't work. Collect money back now became a problem. So she came. Somebody directed her, go and meet this man. I see him. And I was happy that she came. That's what law also does for me. Apart from people saying she came and said, okay, I'm going to meet a lawyer. And then after tabling, I said, okay, give me the man's number. As soon as I place a call to the man said, is it the real Liborus I'm talking to? I said, yes. I said, this young girl just came to complain to me. I said, let me hear your own side. He said, please, I will pay her money. I will pay her. So, and that's why I love
Liborus,
the practice of law.
This has taken us directly to the practice, the trade of your profession. Because I can imagine if I was you in that regard, the satisfaction you would have gotten from just calling this gentleman, just hearing my name, I am Liborus, is already saying, you know what, don't even talk lawyer, I will pay her money. How does a young, aspiring lawyer, I was going to say young, aspiring Liborus. So yes, we want young people to emulate you, but they have to also own their own personalities and know
Yeah.
who they are. But a young lawyer, going into the trade in Nigeria, as difficult as the country is, how do they be litigators like you and excel at what they do?
Look, let me tell you, it's frustrating. Having to sit down in court, for example, as a young lawyer, I've had to sit down in court from 9 a.m. to 4. 9 till 4, waiting for my turn. But the beauty of it is that you're not just sitting there, you're learning. No matter how old you are in the practice. Sometimes a senior advocate will forget, say, please, under which order can I, So you are happy that, in fact, today I taught one senior. So you are seated there, you're learning.
Yeah.
So for some of us also, at the beginning, even when we didn't have a place to work, morning you dress up, you just go to court, enter any court, and listen to lawyers do their thing, argue. Not those days of advocacy. Now you just adopt, but it's still good to fast track the administration of justice. So, but then, I remember in this Lagos, there was a time my salary was 5,500 naira. I couldn't even afford to eat lunch for break. But I was consistent, like I said, little by little, said a thoughtful boy. Moment by moment, I will employ. So I dreamt of a wig and gown. I am marching steadily towards it. Now I'm a lawyer, and I know that I will succeed in law if I focus.
Okay.
And so
focus.
Yes, I remained focused. There was no money, but I saw lawyers then drive big cars, and I told myself, someday they pay their dues. Someday I will also drive big car. Or someday I will be like this. There were times, 3 fires. You're sweating, you're jumping from court to court. But that experience, you can't quantify it.
So what has been the one thing, if there's been a major influence on your trade and practice of law, what's that one thing?
Because
it's easy to say focus and stay consistent in Nigeria of today. Yes.
That's one thing is,
yes,
they'll tell you law is a profession that recognizes seniority, but at the same time, law is a profession that does not recognize seniority. It's controversial, but people won't understand because the baseline is LLB, BL, LLB, BL. That's what we used to tell ourselves then. My Oga, LLB, BL, me, LLB, BL. What he can do, I can do.
So tell yourself you can do anything as a lawyer.
I can do it. See, in some case, there was a day, my boss, senior advocate, when in the office, I wrote a brilliant submission, argument, and because you will go and do the presentation before him, before you go to court. And he looked at me and said, Mister, and you want me to leave this client in your hand? This is rubbish. And then we got to court. My boss took my pieces of paper and read it before Justice Okuobi and said, my lord, we have nothing to add. And I told myself, if a senior advocate can read my argument, then why should I be bothering myself? I don't work again. Let me go
and start my own.
I didn't go to start my own. I went somewhere else. I didn't now go to a senior advocate. I went to somebody who is not a senior advocate, who had fires in his boss, who wants to, succeed. And so he gave me more mileage.
Okay.
Fred Agbaje of blessed memory, I never forget. He gave me more mileage.
So mentorship.
He would sit there in the office and give me all the files. Say, go and do it. You're a lawyer like me, go and do it. If they intimidate you, intimidate them. And then I had a judge, Justice Olateru Olagbegi. If you are in his court, no matter how senior the other, if you like, let the other senior be Brotimi Williams there, he would tell you, look, he was once like you, don't be scared. So I had this mentality that, okay, I see judges like my father. So you want to talk to your father, why will you be scared?
Yeah.
So just... And
do you mentor your young lawyers?
Yes, okay. I do. And that's what I still tell them. And like I had a friend who was my head of chambers in the university. We had a chambers in the university. Oscar Masabo of blessed memories. Late night, died in that Bellevue airline. There are
a lot of dead people around you, Liborus.
Yeah, because I've come a long way. And so he would tell you, my guy, even if you are messianing confidently. To the extent that the judge will be confused. Will be doubting
so
himself.
something else is confidence.
Yes, you must have that confidence. You know, you do it in confidently, and that even the man who is right will be doubting himself. But this guy is, you know, standing solidly. And that was what you people, obedient, did. Solidly, confidently, even when you are wrong confidently, and you know it shook a lot of people.
So
and it is good.
since we want to go into the controversies, I will ask you why you said you would never defend a rapist. When we come back, please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Welcome back to the Enterprise. We're still discussing Liborus Oshoma and his enterprise. Off camera, I discovered that not only are you a family man, you're also very emotional, Liborus. That's a side that you do not show to us. Are you going to cry?
No, I am very, very emotional, very emotional.
Liborus, you are very emotional, right? Why did you say that you would never represent a rapist? Do you want to tell us the emotions behind it?
Yes, because for me, relationship between male and female, there are well, I don't call them prostitutes, they are social engineers. They build and demolish erection. You can afford to get any. So why would you want to force, you know, somebody against that person's will?
But until you defend them,
no,
they are not convicted. They are not a rapist until the court
Look,
calls
let me tell you, there are some, forget, as a lawyer, there are some stories you hear. You don't even need to hear the other side. You already know. You know the truth. There are some persons, I didn't say I will not defend somebody who's wrongly accused.
So you know, how do you know if the person is wrongly accused?
No. As I am telling you, as a lawyer, there are people you know, you say this one committed this crime. So you are just waiting for the prosecutor to prove, or you're looking for loopholes. No, such persons for me do you know what it means to take somebody's dignity in a world where you can, like this, you can get social engineer, and then you now, you know, so so for me, my law is to help build society and not help to destroy it. And so that's why from day one, I said, look, there are some things. And so that's why I had cause to argue with some colleagues. This way, as a lawyer, you're like a prayer warrior. Anything they bring to you, you
You're
pray.
supposed to be unbiased,
There are some things that, I remember Bamidele Aturu of blessed memory. There are some cases they brought to him, good morning. He said, look, my conscience will not allow me to take this case. So recently I listened to Oke Bakassi. I listened to Oke Bakassi recently saying, you know, I'm an MC, I'm a professional. People know who I voted for, because we were dragging him for going to do MC for Hope Uzodinma. And in my mind, that defense for me was shallow. There should be, when you say, apart from ethics, there should be belief. If you do not believe in a cause,
don't speak for it.
Don't speak for it. So you can't say, I do not believe in this politician. But
when he calls me to perform,
to work for them, you are working for them. You are even helping them raise money in an event. Oh no!
As a musician, so that's why for me, a comedian, you are performing your act.
You are performing your act. Your act is also enhancing those people.
Okay.
So that's why for me, it's like saying, "Oh, you are a lawyer. I am a lawyer, so I'm called to do my job." I know that the man cold-bloodedly murdered somebody, and then because my job.
Doesn't the ethics of law say you have to defend anyone?
The ethics of law also says I can reject a brief if I do not agree with it. And so that's for me that, look, I do not believe in this. I cannot see myself stand before a judge to truly defend this person.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I won't do that. So in the same vein, I can't come now and criticize, a politician, for example. I can come, if you can call me, come hear my own side of the story. After listening to your side of the story, if I still do not believe in it, I will still go out there and say, I listened to your side.
And I still don't believe in you.
And I still don't believe in you.
Okay.
But not, come and work for me. It's your job. Come and defend me.
Your political views have been trending. I didn't want to, like you mentioned, you don't want to go there. I didn't also want to go into the politics of your trade, because as a political analyst, there are some sides that you have taken. For instance, you called me an obedient now. I'm on the fence like you. But again, before I quickly go into your exercise, and your passion for exercise and all of that, just because you're a political analyst and we're talking about your trade, I'd love for you to drop one advice for Nigerians in terms of, because you're able to analyze Nigerian democracy, politics and policies properly as a lawyer. What should Nigerians do differently? Because we keep on doing the same thing.
I didn't call you obedient. I said what obedient did.
Okay.
Even when you messian confidently. So, maybe if I did that, it was a misnomer.
All right.
But what Nigerians know how to die in politicians' fights. Like the last election and the matter that went to court. My friend Evans described it, Rabbi. He says, obedience, they formulated issues for determination in their mind, distinct from the issues formulated
by the lawyers
handling the matter. And then they now want the court to determine the case in line with the issues they formulated in their mind. And so when you try to correct them, they say, oh, you are a Tinubu supporter. You are a Atiku supporter. Anyway, no, they'll say you are Tinubu because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
So since Atiku is the enemy of Tinubu, it was easy to tag along with them. But you ask yourself, this alliance was open before the election. You guys should have made use of this alliance. So they like to die in the fight of the politicians. But in the real sense of it, I'm sorry to say, with the structure that we are practicing, Nigeria will never progress beyond this level.
Oh yes,
so
I heard you talking about how can we be doing parliamentary and presidential at the same time.
Exactly. So every 4 years, they sell hope to you.
We buy it.
We buy it with the belief that when a new government comes, that something different will happen. And so you find out that if the president is from your area, you campaign vigorously. And then you think that when he comes in, the moment you get something, that means Nigeria is okay. That's not true. And so that's why you find out that the three major ethnic tribes were divided. Some for Atiku, some for Obi, some for Tinubu. But at the end of the day, all of them campaign with the same thing. We will remove subsidy. We will float the naira. None of them
told us how they will do it.
What they will do
after.
It even Tinubu's government now, it is after they remove subsidy, they floated the naira, that they are now beginning to look for how to share palliative. Palliative that I share every Saturday anyway. So it is the same thing. And then imagine somebody came to me and said, oh, if it is Obi that was president, he wouldn't have allowed National Assembly to buy vehicles. And now I started asking myself, does this man even understand how this thing works? That these people,
they
control their own budget. It is not like State House of Assembly where the governor will put their budget in his pocket. So you need to understand that
the structure
at that level, that was why, as fantastic as Fashola was in Lagos, when he got to the federal,
they made a rubbish of his name.
I'm telling you, he was caged. Because you need to understand the dynamics at that level.
What can we do?
So what we need to do as a people, what we need to, that's why everybody that went to National Assembly, nobody's rejecting the vehicles. They are all collecting. Peter Obi said that they said it's for work. Others is not for the same work too, but must you buy the expensive ones?
True.
But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. So that's why these Tinubu supporters will say, no, if Tinubu goes to Saudi Arabia, so the president is doing well. He comes back, oh, he's doing well. And then the opposition will criticize. We can't progress like that. because everybody's waiting for something from Abuja. We need to look for people, especially our assembly members, our lawmakers. Nigerians need to focus less on the presidency, focus more on your senators and House of Rep.
Are you saying devaluation of power?
No, yes. Focus more on your House of Rep and senators, that we get there and amend the constitution to devolve power.
Okay.
But what you have, when everybody focus on the president, you have a president who is a behemoth, who is stronger than everybody, and he begins to dictate to
the National Assembly,
the Iberibes, or anybody that you send to National Assembly that cannot hold their own. So that's what Nigerians need to do differently. Okay. It has nothing to, political parties are just vehicles.
Okay.
And so when you do that, we'll be able to say, when you unbundle, then you can, the space to hold becomes smaller, and then the structures get closer. And it becomes easy for all of us to manage.
So I assume that this is not easy to do. It's
very difficult
to make governors and state houses of assembly more powerful than the center.
You need to amend the law. You need to first get people that will amend the law. That people who will not be, in awe of the president.
Neither
the president wants to see National Assembly member, they are all happy.
And they are running there. And not have a Senate president that wears his signal of the president.
Exactly. The president is so amiable.
Liborus, more leave politics are big. We are here to discuss you. So you are an exercise buff. You love to exercise.
Like I said, I share palliative every Saturday.
Oh my goodness. So where did the love for that come from? What's the motive behind it?
First and foremost, I need to say this, that growing up, Nigeria knew the work again. I participated in Bende State Sports Festival. I participated in School Sports Festival, and so that was where they honed young talent then. We used to go to Afuze, Olympic Village in Afuze, for camping, preparation for, zonal sports festivals. And at that point, if you go to sport festivals, if you're playing badminton, if you are disqualified for badminton, you enter weightlifting. If you're disqualified for weightlifting, you enter swimming. From swimming, you enter basketball. So you just want to remain in camp. And then these things also, kept us out of trouble. So, but, the vicissitude of life, when you're chasing education, especially when you attended a school where you are not in the hostel. So participating in sports, became very difficult. So all through university, but in law school I played basketball, and then started practicing law in Lagos where you have to jump bus. All of those things just vanished until one of those days I went for a TV program, and then driving out, and I started feeling dizzy, and a good Samaritan helped me. I had $1 in my pocket. I don't know where that guy is, but he just saw me like, "Oga, what's wrong with you?" I said, "I can't see." He said, "Is this your car?" I said, "Yes." He just pushed me inside the car and drove me to the next hospital. And then luckily at that point, my mother-in-law was calling. So he just picked the phone and said, the owner of this phone is in the hospital. So describe the place. And the money in my pocket, he kept the money, for me, handed them over to my mother-in-law and my wife when they eventually came. So from that time, I just
realized that this life sweet.
I'm telling you. So I went back. I said, look, you can chase money, chase life, chase career, but without health to enjoy it, everything is gone. So when health is gone, all is gone. So I went back, and then COVID now came. I can tell you that all through COVID, I never stayed one day at home.
Wow.
In my estate, and also because I'm a good mobilizer, grassroots mobilizer, every day I come out for exercise, I just say, join us now, let's, and so, like that, we're able to raise a group of almost 100 people. And then I now noticed, because, when you finish exercise, what next?
We go home.
Go home.
No, so I noticed that you can lose 300 kg and then you consume 1,000 right after.
That's what I'm saying. So when you finish exercise, what next? And I remember a story. A guy said, "Oga, what's wrong with you?" I said, "I can't see." He said, "Is this your car?" I said, "Yes." He just pushed me inside the car and drove me to the next hospital. So when he said, that he goes out to drink. On his way from work, he will stop by the nearby pub and then drink, get home for 10. He leaves office by 5, gets to his area by 6, and then he'll be there till 10. Then one day the wife bought beer in the fridge, made pepper soup.
So there was no need to go out.
Now called him and said, don't come, you need to come. So he invited a few of his friends. And then she served them pepper soup and beer. But that gist, that beer parlor gist, they couldn't discuss it at home. So now, when after drinking and eating, he now told the wife, he said, okay, there's remaining one thing. The woman said, what is that? I said, the gist. The gist. Where is the gist? So it is not this beer that takes us there. It is the gist. So for us,
yes,
after that exercise, that gist, those
it's not the rice that keeps you after.
Those things that you ordinarily can't say in your everyday work, those banters. So it is something that will sustain the gist.
Liborus, we are going to show pictures of you serving rice.
Yes, we do it religiously every Saturday that people now voluntarily we struggle. Say, Kochi, please, my date, or you are not giving me a date. You know, so people struggle.
Date for hosting.
Yes, for hosting. I'm telling you, and so you also see that, like we say, we call ourselves
people.
Yes,
actually.
we call ourselves palliative. You know, when one person cry, we all cry. When one person enjoy, we all enjoy. If you see some of the pictures, we exercise, we dance, we laugh, we play. Then you go home, our wives know. Say, no, just forget them all. The women with us, their husbands know that, you know. So and then we say we hold our women in high esteem. So we protect them, we advise them. So if you're doing anything, we'll be the first to come. If you are facing challenges, you reach out. Then once in a while, what we do, we'll just say today, call at least 3 persons you have not spoken to before. Communal life. So
two things you are doing, aside from encouraging them to exercise, right? You may be using the food to attract them, but eventually you will do exercise. No,
but you see, like what we do, we also say, when you come, no titles. Okay. Don't tell us what you do, who you are. No.
We're all the same.
We're all the same. Okada rider, but it is when you see discussions and behavior, you will not know, okay, this person is not level. And so, you must also have been with us for a period of time before we now
draw you in. Okay. So
that we can understudy you, know what you do, who you are, so that we don't just recruit people of questionable character. So with that, so far, you know, you find out that people look forward to that Saturday. Sometimes weekday.
Why weekday? What are you doing on
after exercise weekday? Wait, for those that are not busy, they just look for a place to sit down and say, well, let's eat and drink and just
nice.
Be merry. And then we post pictures. Others will say, look,
hey, I missed though.
I need to look for a job that will give me time. A man once told me, he said he chased so much money that now he's using that money to take care of his health. That if only he had, you know, struck a balance. So for me, it's about balancing life. I might not be as rich. And also, it has also helped me. I don't chase after the things that people are chasing. I live in a 3-bedroom house. There was a time that house was, you know, too small. All my younger ones were staying, and, you know. But today, everybody is gone. My children are all in school. The house now is too big for my wife and I. That sometimes we just, okay, let's just even check into a hotel and just stay.
Okay. You know? So the only thing I have taken out of this your story is the palliatives. In this Tinubu's economy, how will it reach us?
Let me tell you, you find out that when we complain, this suffering or the hardship or the high price, it's just going around. We're just sharing it among us. Apart from the politicians that are taking large chunk and warehousing, the rest of us are just rotating the same thing. The market woman goes to the market and then he pays high cost of transport because that driver has bought diesel at a very high cost. So he sells to the man who is a lawyer at a high cost. Also, that man who is a lawyer charge his neighbor who comes to him.
We're actually
they
doing
hire-
ourselves.
We're just doing ourselves. So it's a vicious circle. We all go round. So it goes. So the prices will go up. Everybody will adjust, and then we all continue to complain. But when it is now time for us to demand and say, government, you need to do it this way. You know, we are laid back. That's why I have problem with this our pastorpreneur. They collect, they don't give back.
Yeah.
And also that's why I have problem with our politicians. They collect, they don't give back.
Okay, so one word of advice for everyone that you have a problem with.
Be your brother's keeper.
Okay.
Because it sums life. If I'm your keeper, I won't steal from you.
If I love you
I
as your
I
brother,
don't even have to love you. If I'm your keeper, I won't steal from you. I won't take that which is collectively ours. Every person, I don't call them house help. Every young girl that have worked in my house, even my workers, I treat them like my friends. I tell them, when the first day you come, I said, if you take me like a father, I will treat you like a daughter. But if you take me like Oga, or you behave like a house help, I'll treat you like one. So see this place as your home, because it is circumstance that kept you where you are.
Yeah.
But you will be doomed if you now decide to keep yourself
Yourself.
where you are, haven't gotten this kind of opportunity.
so be your brother's keeper.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Liborus, for allowing us enter your privacy and discover more of who you are. So
pleasure.
now when we see you on TV, it's not just Liborus, the lawyer and the political analyst and advocate. It's the lover boy.
Yes, and the
the
palliative
husband
man.
of one, the
Yeah.
boyfriend of 7 at some point in his life.
Yes.
And the palliative man. It has been the Enterprise. And so that is the end of the Enterprise today. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Be your brother's keeper. That's one message Liborus has for us. And when we do that, Nigeria will be a better place. I hope that we will see you next time on the Enterprise. Stay well. See you next time.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.